and the Republicans are only for the rich. Well, if Trump gets rid of illegal immigrants and cheap labor, do you think his billionaire friends are happy with him? Oh, I never thought about it that way. And if Democrats are for the poor and they want to help increase the income, middle income, why are they allowing cheap labor to come here that's good for the billionaires but hurts the low and middle? Oh, God. Well, I never thought about it that way before.
Patrick Bet-David went on Steve-O's podcast. I didn't even know Steve-O had a podcast, but apparently Steve-O has a podcast, and Patrick Bet-David went on Steve-O's podcast, and his dad was also there. Steve-O's dad was also there. And Patrick Bet-David took them both on and debated them on a few different topics, but things really got heated whenever it got to a specific debate topic here on this podcast between Patrick Bet-David and Steve-O's dad. A weird situation, but hey, it happened and things got heated. Patrick Bet-David annihilated both of them. And let's get into this clip here where Patrick Bet-David debates Steve-O and Steve-O's dad here in a pretty heated clip. Let's check it out.
Yeah.
Okay, so without pointing to the cabinet appointees, the officials, I'm interested in your thoughts on mass deportation, being that you have the background as an immigrant. The idea that the mass deportation is something that Trump campaigned on so much. However, he also campaigned on he's going to reduce inflation. Is not mass deportation super inflationary?
Okay, so it's two questions, right? Let me address the first one. So in 1984, we applied to get a green card to come to the States. Didn't happen. June 3rd, 89, Khomeini dies. 6 weeks later, we escaped to Germany. Go live in Germany at a refugee camp waiting for our green card. Finally, we get it. And we come here November 28, 1990. So I came here legally. So I didn't come here illegally. We came here legally. If you come here illegally, hey, man, follow the law. Very simple. You follow the law, do your thing. We got to kind of go through it. Now, the argument for inflation is two ways how you go with that, right? Like I remember the H-1B visa argument. The Americans are not as hardworking, or some of the people that are, coming in as immigrants and they're hungry. Maybe partly right. Maybe some guys that are coming here are more grateful about the opportunities given to them than somebody that was born here. Maybe there's a little bit of argument for that. Maybe it could have been said in a different way, but maybe there's some kind of an argument for that. And, these illegal immigrants, like the one lady on The View who used to be on the show with Bill Cosby, and I think she was the one, she says, well who's going to start cleaning the toilet if we get rid of the Mexicans? And they're like, wait, no, you can't say that. I'm just saying. And she just kind of spit it out. It was embarrassing because liberals are trying to make the case that it's unfair to let the illegal immigrant kind of do some of the work that maybe Americans don't want to do. But the reality of it is, if the president has a job, his job is to, one, take care of the American worker. By the way, let's go to this. They say Republicans are for billionaires, right? And Democrats are for the poor. Really?
Watch this. I think they're all for billionaires.
But I want you to think about this here. If that's the case, as a kid, I asked my mom, I said, Mom, are we Republicans or Democrats? And she says, we're Democrats. Why? Because Democrats are for the poor, Republicans are for the rich. And I said, when I grow up one day, I want to be a Republican. I just want to be rich. I'm sick and tired of being broke. But watch this. If Democrats are for the poor and the Republicans are only for the rich, well, if Trump gets rid of illegal immigrants and cheap labor, do you think his billionaire friends are happy with him? Oh, I never thought about it that way. And if Democrats are for the poor and they want to help increase the income, middle income, why are they allowing cheap labor to come here that's good for the billionaires but hurts the low and middle? Oh, God. Well, I never thought about it that way before. I mean, this is the arguments that we hear about.
Yeah, it's a good point by Patrick Bet-David there. It's only going to help the low-income families. I mean, assuming that these low-income families actually want to work for their money, which a lot of them, let's be real, a lot of them don't. They just want to collect government assistance and things like that, if we're being completely honest. But assuming that, let's give them the benefit of the doubt, they do want to work for their money, but they just get basically price gouged by the illegal immigrants and the people who are coming here from these super poor countries that are willing to work for dirt cheap. And so now all these jobs are being taken by these illegal immigrants. And now these very respectable poor people who collect government assistance, who they want to work so badly, they would love to work for their money, but these illegal immigrants are just taking the jobs, and that's why they can't work, and they have to collect food stamps. They just so badly want to work. Well, if you get rid of the illegal immigrants and these people who want to work so badly, they get to go work for a decent price, a decent living. So it is only going to help these people that Democrats claim that they want to help so badly, and then it's also going to help the homeless veterans and people who get neglected, American citizens who get neglected in favor of these illegal immigrants. So it's going to help both sides. There's only really one thing that checks out logically. One line of reasoning that checks out logically for why the Democrats want so badly to keep illegal immigrants in the country. I guess you could say two. The one that makes the most sense to me is, that they want the illegal immigrants to be voting Democrat, right? And that's why they passed the no voter ID laws, and they say that it's racist to make people show an ID to vote and things like that. Or you could say that it's maybe, elites on top of the actual lawmakers themselves that are trying to cause the downfall of Western society. Who knows what the actual reason is? I think Democrats trying to basically buy votes by getting illegal immigrants in. I think that makes the most sense, especially when you pair it with the fact that they're trying to pass all these no voter ID laws and say that voter ID is racist and things like that. I think that makes the most sense. But that was a great point by Patrick Bet David there.
Sometimes being made. But no, if Democrats are really that concerned about increasing the median income, then stop allowing 10 million illegal immigrants to come here. And if Trump's got the brass to get a Tom Homan, who's another gangster, to get everybody to get out who's illegal, and that hurts his billionaire friends that are hiring people for cheap labor, well, then that could be a complete different argument being made, saying, hey, what are you doing here? You kind of hurting us a little bit.
I feel like I want to push back on that a little bit. That's what she said. She said, I'm going to push back real hard, though. Construction work, the caution. So I think of construction because, when I think of construction and stuff like that. And I feel like it's the average American it's so difficult to purchase a home. And then I think that chain reaction of mass deportation. I think that the construction work, the cost of building homes is going to rise. I think it's not just going to hurt billionaires. I think that we're looking at inflation from that.
Well, then the question becomes, do you want that job to go to an American? Do you want that job to go to an illegal immigrant? Who do you want that job to go to? If you want that...
Maybe you're right.
Let me give you an example.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, personally, and I would love to hear your comments, and I would love to see all of you get mad at me in the comments, I don't mind having super cheap labor. As somebody who runs multiple businesses, and look, my businesses are online, so a lot of times I am outsourcing to VAs in Pakistan and stuff like that. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Because why the hell wouldn't you do that? If the opportunity is there, why wouldn't you do that? That's what all the rich people do, okay? And so I don't hate having super cheap labor from people who are, coming in from Mexico or wherever they want to come from these poor countries. I don't hate it. Would I rather it be Americans making money? Hypothetically, theoretically, in a perfect world? Yeah, that'd be great. But if I'm thinking about my own pockets and what I'm the best bang for my buck, it's gonna be like if I was somebody who did like home repairs and I ran a home repair business, the best bang for my buck is going to pick up a Mexican at Home Depot to come help me. Not go hire an American who has a family. It's going to be one man that came here from Mexico, maybe illegally, maybe legally, has a family back in Mexico that he wants to send money to, and he's willing to work for super cheap. Not an American man that has an entire family that he has to feed inside of America. It's going to be the best bang for your buck. And I understand people are going to get so mad at that. How dare you prioritize your own profits over employing an American citizen? Okay, man, you can get mad all you want, but I'm going to get rich. I'm going to provide for my family. That's my priority, right? I'm going to provide for myself, my family, my future kids, things like that. That's my priority. And it should be yours too. I understand. Everybody expects everybody to just exist in this rainbow filled world where it's like, you know, all sunshine and rainbows. It just doesn't exist, man. You got to look out for yourself. And that's how I view it. You know, that's what all these rich people are doing. Why would I hinder myself and not take advantage of this thing and just get boat raced by the competition? Doesn't make any sense.
Community where I used to live, we had a landscaping company that was fantastic. Every face that showed up was black. Everything was terrific. Within a period of about 2 weeks, all the blacks were gone, and it was all whites. Strange kind of a transition that fast. It turned out it was a family company that had sold out to a regional corporation in Atlanta. The corporate lawyers were worried about illegals. Summarily, they fired all the blacks and replaced them with whites. The level of service went like shit. The work ethic just was not there. And you talk to people who are hiring for service jobs. They have trouble getting Americans to do some of this really crappy work. I think you could.
So you're for open borders and 10 million people.
Wait. You're oversimplifying.
No, but wait a minute. Do you think there was open border under the Biden-Kamala administration?
Obama deported
2.5 million people.
More people than any other president.
But what I'm asking you is, do you think there was open borders under Biden and Kamala?
There was I won't say they were open. They were insufficient. I think they were insufficient because there wasn't enough money put into it. Do you
think the guys working on the Border Patrol, had enough backing from the U.S. government to say, slow your roll? Tom Homan gave a report 2 days ago at CPAC. He says under Biden, they were averaging on days 1,800 people coming through. You know what the number is hit in less than a month? 45 in a day. And he says that's 45 too many that he wants to get. How were they able to drop it from 1,800 to 45? Because the top has got to protect them.
Wait, one theory that came out, the publicity that has been given to deportation has been massive. The other night there was a news clip of illegals being chained up, putting on the chains and the handcuff, all that, and leading them in a demeaning way onto the airplane.
Are they criminals?
Sorry?
Are they criminals? Did they break the law?
It wasn't clear, but they may have, and if they did, I
don't understand it.
Let me make my point. Let me make my point.
Sure.
The point was, by making it so demeaning and so threatening, and all the publicity, it reduced immigration because it scared people who otherwise might have come in.
That's absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to be honest with you. That is really stupid. I don't think that these people really care about the repercussions or the possible repercussions of them coming illegally. This is such an uninformed take. It's not even funny. This guy, that is a take of someone who has no idea what people risk and what they go through to try and get through the southern border. Go talk to a Homeland Security agent or a Border Patrol agent who has worked in southern Texas or in Mexico and seen the trucks of dead bodies that pop up, abandoned trucks of dead bodies, things like that. People understand there's a high chance of them getting killed, of them dying of starvation, of really bad things happening to you as you're crossing bodies of water, as you're getting smuggled through the southern border. They understand that risk is there already. Way worse than getting demeaned by handcuffs and chain. Are you serious? By getting treated like a criminal when you are a criminal, there's way worse risks that didn't deter them from trying to get here before. Like, is this guy serious? Dude, this guy is so uninformed. How are you this old and you're talking politics and you're this uninformed on politics? That's crazy. This guy doesn't understand that people die every single day trying to get here. And the people who are trying to get here tomorrow know that people died today trying to get here. It didn't deter them. So you think that them being shown in handcuffs and chains deterred them so much that it went from 1,800 people a day to 45 people a day? That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And shout out to Patrick Bet David for putting these people, Steve-O and Steve-O's dad, in their place here. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about Patrick Bet David absolutely annihilating these two woke. Let's just call it what it is. These are woke takes here. You know, let me know in the comments though what you guys think about Patrick Bet David destroying Steve-O and Steve-O's dad here on their own show.